So hey there, this is Chris with Patch. I'm just sitting down here with Mayor Josh Schlicher, Mayor of the City of Marietta. So we're just going over what's going on in Marietta this week.
Yeah, a lot of projects. Weather's turned good, so we're finally getting things in full force. Several things that are still in the works. Aquatic center renovations are going on. The fiber project, this fiber replacement with the traffic signal project, that's ongoing.
Do you know where specifically that's going to be affected?
Well, they're working all over town.
Okay.
Right now they're doing some work on Putnam Street on the bridge. They were pulling the wire across the bridge. So it's really, they're just kind of all over town at different intersections. They've got most of the groundwork done. They're just now pulling wire and getting all the connections and everything put in. Then they're going to go and they'll replace all the cabinet hardware, all the controllers, all the loop detectors, all the conflict monitors. Everything will get updated. And then really the public's not going to see a lot of physical changes with the infrastructure that's in place. Most of it's all underground, or it's in the cabinets where it's out of sight. But a lot of that's going on.
When are traffic patterns going to be changing because of this system?
Well, really nothing's going to change. There's going to be an efficiency factor in the change. So we're hoping when everything's in place and everything is set up and all the new modern technologies put in place, the public's going to see less stop and go traffic. There's going to be less rear end collisions. There's going to be less delays. The safety factors are going to be much better. The crossing, pedestrian crossing cycles will be improved. So really there's going to be just a better flow of traffic, not necessarily a change in pattern, but just a much pleasant experience, we hope, for the drivers.
But you're going to wait till everything gets installed and basically flip a switch, and then it's going to be a whole different but more efficient system.
Yeah, they're going to hopefully see a night and day difference between the system that we're currently using to the new system.
Excellent.
And I'm not 100% sure if it's a immediate turn on or if it gets phased in.
Gotcha.
But once it's all up and running and everything's in place, the goal is just a smoother traffic flow through town.
Okay, and they're going to be working on this generally, but when is this project going to be completely done?
It's supposed to be done the end of June.
Okay.
Yeah, with the first phase. And then the second phase is going to be everything from Putnam Street north uptown.
Okay.
So that's everything, 3rd, 4th. Then also the Safe Routes to School project is going to be underway here soon at 5th and Washington Streets. That signal is going to get updated to a new system with new heads, push buttons, and all the modern safety standards there. So that'll be done this summer, and then the second phase will start. But everything, the Green, Pike, everything, the main drag through town, 3rd Street from Putnam down, is going to be all improved all at the same time. So where we see a huge volume of traffic through town, those intersections will be done first, and then we'll phase the other corridor we're in. Right now we have a combination of just a lot of older controllers that don't speak to each other. They don't communicate, and we just have a lot of individual intersections that this one goes to red and then this one goes to green, so then you get it's just nothing is coordinated.
I've noticed.
So we're hoping that once everything talks to each other and the controller is a master controller that runs everything, and when it's all working, it'll be a much more smoother flow of traffic through town.
Awesome. So what else is going on in Marietta?
Well, we're getting ready to fire up the crack seal machine, and we have plans to keep it running almost all summer. There's a point in time where it gets too hot, the surface of the roads get too hot, and it never hardens up, and it stays tacky. So we're going to run it from start to finish as long as we can, and our goal is to put 50,000 pounds of sealer on city streets this year. In the past, the normal, if they even did it, was about 5,000 pounds.
Okay.
Last year, I pushed it up to 25,000 pounds, and we're going to double it this year, hopefully for 50,000.
So where are you going to start at?
Well, we're going to finish parts of Green Street, Pike Street. Those will all get finished first.
Okay.
Fort Harmor Drive, Muskingum Drive, parts of Route 7 north, so from the interstate north to the city limits,
Okay.
city limit area, which is County House Lane roughly. That will all get joint repair work, so we're going to actually go in and grind out the spots that are bad and
Oh, wow.
and fix those areas. Fort Harmor Drive has a few spots that will also get ground out and repaired. Once we get done with the main drags through town, then we're going to go into the what we call our manual. It's pavement management group is what or who does it.
Gotcha.
And what it is it's a system that ranks the streets in Marietta, and we do them all.
Mhm.
And it ranks them from 100 being excellent or brand new to failure, which is around
Yeah.
in the 20s and 30s. Actually, 40s is failure. We see a lot of 20s and 30s. So every street, and it gives the the distance or the length. If it's 2-lane, 1-lane, asphalt, concrete, when it was last paved, when it's scheduled to be paved again, and it ranks all that, and then it gives us a readout. So, for instance, here's one that's a 4, which is obviously failed, but anything that's good and above, we can crack seal it, and the return on our investment is worthwhile because we can prolong the decline in the condition of the pavement, and crack sealing is very it lasts a good amount of time, but it's also the most cost-effective thing we can do.
Okay.
And so we're going to do that on every street that we can in that good to excellent range. Now you get to anything below, like in the 60s and the 50s, and you see a lot of alligator cracking and stuff. It almost is too far gone.
Right.
And so we're not going to put the money into it because we're probably going to end up repaving that.
That makes
But if we can stay on them more, be more proactive, which we want to be, we're not going to have that huge sliding board effect when we look at our draft and see. We want to keep a straight line, or we want to improve the condition. We don't
Right.
want it to be where it's been in the past, which is on the decline. And because we have about 80 miles of streets right now that we maintain. So here, historically looking, this is going back to 2006.
Okay.
So in 2008 it peaked, and then we've just seen a fairly
Right.
steady decline, and it came up a little bit in 17, but for the most part it's not being managed enough. So our goal is to get that in the 70s plus, and either get even higher or at least get it to where it stays in that 70 range.
Right.
So that's our big goal. Crack sealing can be a major improvement with that. We have the full capabilities of doing that on our own. We have the equipment and the manpower to do it. But we also are looking at other rejuvenation systems with roads. There's some that are too far gone for crack sealing. There's what they call slurry seal.
Okay.
And if it's a low traveled road, low volume, low speed, around 25 mile an hour, any residential street qualifies for that type of application because that's also cost effective. It's easy to go in and do,
Okay.
and it gives a complete seal. And it's a little bit different than, you see parking lots redone,
Yeah.
and they put a black coat on it.
Mhm.
It's a little more, it's a little different than that. It gives it actually a buildup on the surface, fills in all the cracks, and gives it a new wearing surface where we can then prolong another 5 or 7 or 8, 10 years on those roads. And if they're low traffic, we don't have the traffic tearing it up and running high
Right.
speeds on it. Pike Street and Green Street, some of those streets, you can also use that on those, but they're not far enough gone yet to really get the, the most money out of that
Right.
type of application. So crack sealing on those will be important to continue to do. We're doing a lot of, like I said, the aquatic center is going to get updated this year in a grand opening. Then we're systematically looking at every single park in town that we're
Okay.
responsible for, and we have a huge workload to do. We're not sure we can get it all done this year,
Right.
but we want the public to know that we're looking at every single park and every single facility that the city owns and doing improvements to all of them.
Okay.
Some require some painting, some require extensive renovations. There's really just a mixture of what we have. There's really nothing that we have is in tip-top shape, and I know that, and that's been my goal as mayor, is to get that level up of standard, and we want to maintain that standard and keep everything maintained, inviting, welcoming, and a new image for Marietta, that we're on top of things and keeping things under control and managed well. So just every park. We're going to finish the park behind the Armory that we started last year, the new park. Finish the harbor. We're going to do some work on the levee this year, and we've been doing a lot of weed removal down there right now. We're going to keep up with all that. A lot of landscaping, cemetery work. All the cemeteries are getting a lot of work. We're hoping to have most of that done before Memorial Day. So right now, the other parks, we're building our plan of attack, but the cemetery work right now in the aquatic center is kind of priority, and where we're focusing most of the effort. We want that all done before Memorial Day weekend and the kickoff of the summer. And the aquatics, or the Gold Star Park, we got the pavilion finished, so we're going to finish out the landscaping and areas up there. The tennis courts need some rehabilitation, so we're going to work on that. Just a lot of work to do, and we're going to start the all-out rollout program again in a couple weeks, and that'll be focused on a lot of different projects, but we're also going to have a lot of the street work rolled into that, because the Public Works Department is the main driver for that program. And with that department, when we formed it last year, we were able to bring together about 26 employees and a lot more equipment to better manage the work that we want to do. And we're going to continue with a lot of tree work and weed removal. We're doing not only mechanical weed removal, but we're doing a lot of spraying this year. We have a state certified sprayer on staff that has his credentials to do the spraying. That's all being regulated and controlled by the high EPA, so we're all in compliance with that. We're not going to spray the riverbank. There was some concern a couple years ago about weed control down there. We're going to do some areas, but we're not going to. Nothing will be
Right.
against EPA regulations for pesticides. So I don't want the public to get concerned there.
Sure.
We want them to know that we're doing it right and be compliant on the regulations. We're taking possession of the new fleet vehicles that we started last year. I don't know if I discussed that with you yet, but we had a lot of aging vehicles last year, a lot of equipment maintenance cost associated with it. And what we did was we leased 26 vehicles, and that's things from work trucks, pickup trucks, to admin vehicles. And we're going to reduce the amount of maintenance that we have to do on those vehicles and then turn them over quicker. And we're going to probably save about $150,000 a year of taxpayer dollars. And the city's gonna be able to drive newer vehicles, safer vehicles, and not drive vehicles 20 years
Right.
and let them rust out and sell them for junk, is what we were doing in the past. So the city's gonna be seeing a lot more newer vehicles on the roads, city vehicles. And we're rebranding the city, so we're changing the decals on the trucks, so the public's gonna start seeing those around town. And it's gonna give us a better program to manage fleet that way. We have about 80 vehicles in our city fleet. 56 vehicles roughly are passenger vehicles. The rest are fire trucks and ambulances and back trucks and street sweepers and specialty vehicles. And this fleet vehicle lease program also includes all of our police cars, which we did have a 5-year cycle on those, but this time we're gonna roll them over possibly even quicker than that.
All right.
And just give the public and our employees better vehicles to drive and safer vehicles, and save cost in the long run. So that's pretty much it right now. We've got a lot of little projects, almost
Right.
too numerous to mention,
Fair enough.
that come up every day. Of course, water and wastewater are ongoing. They've been going on for years and,
Right.
and will continue. We are starting, actually today they started the water storage facility out off of State Route 26, the Norwood water tank. That is getting pressure washed and sandblasted in preparation for a new coating on the inside and the outside. And that's the last one. We have all of our elevated tanks, everything above ground's all been coated in the last 5 years. So, and those have about a 20-25 year life cycle.
Okay.
So we're in good shape after we get this tank done. We'll be in good shape with all of our outlying infrastructure, water. That doesn't include water pipes in the ground. There's always projects there and breaks and concerns. But our main water infrastructure and our most costly infrastructure, we're being proactive in getting that stuff coated and protected. But yeah, work on the reverse osmosis plant still in the works, and we're still finishing up the last phase of the wastewater treatment plant renovation, which we hope will be concluded this year.
Okay.
Be totally online and finished, and be done with that project. And those are 30 and 40 year projects, so we won't have to touch those, hopefully, again without any major work, just some general maintenance on those projects. But fire department, we're actually going to take the old Jackson Park, Jackson Pool, and we're going to convert that into a training facility for the fire department.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned that. So they're working on that this week?
Well, not this week. I was actually up there today with the Public Works Director and the Fire Chief, and we're putting a plan together.
Okay.
Yeah, the fire department's going to use some of their labor, and our Public Works Department will do some of the other work. And that facility's been used for the last 15 or so years as kind of just a catch-all for all antiquated and obsolete and old equipment that the city's acquired.
Storage.
And storage.
Right.
So we're cleaning out a lot of things that we're never going to use again. We're going to auction those off and dispose of all that. And so that the public's going to notice here pretty soon we're going to have a huge yard sale because we're putting all that on govdeals.com.
GovDeals?
GovDeals.
Okay.
Yeah. Because legally we have to auction it off. We can't just dispose of it or sell it to our neighbor. We have to give everybody the opportunity to bid on it and do it legal. So we're getting rid of a lot of lawn mowers, old mowers, and equipment that doesn't work anymore, and old lights, and just various obsolete things.
Gotcha.
We get that all done, and then that facility then will be cleaned up and rehabilitated into a training facility.
Okay.
And so we're looking forward to that. The fire department is too. They've been needing a place to, do training and scenarios and things like that. And it's also going to give us an opportunity then to work with other departments, because we can use it for like kind of a regional training facility with other departments.
Yeah.
And do
That could be cool.
Yeah. So yeah, the fire chief he's putting his plan together of what they need, what they would like to have, and there's some models other departments have built, different training facilities out of old storage containers and things like that. So so he's putting together a plan of what they're going to do.
All right.
And yeah, it's pretty neat. We're updating most of the equipment that we can over at the fire department. In 2018, the city was able to have the public vote on the supplemental income tax that goes towards the fire department and streets. So we're making a lot of improvements with the fire department on that money that the voters approved. So we last year we took possession of the new fire engine, and this year we've already ordered a new ambulance medic unit. So there's always a lead time on those, because they usually have to build them when they order them. So we're looking forward to later this year we'll have a new medic unit.
Okay.
And that's going to replace about a 20-year-old medic unit that's will be taken offline. It's actually a backup unit, because we have 4 in the city.
Okay.
And the third oldest one, they kind of rotate them out. Once the third one gets so old, then we gotta get rid of it.
Okay.
But it's a backup unit, so it doesn't see daily use. But the new one then will be front line, and then we'll take one out of rotation and put it in the back for backup. We're looking at also in the next couple of years buying a new aerial tower truck, and those are about $1.5 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are sizable investments.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we're looking at that. Those also have a huge lead time. So if we want it delivered in 2023, then we need to start looking at ordering it now.
And yeah.
And so yeah, because they're all usually custom built the way we want them and all that. So yeah, we're looking at upgrading a lot of the equipment, the older stuff for the fire department. Just a lot of good activity going on in the city. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that the public doesn't know.
Sure.
They're told about it in the paper or online or something, and it's just been real interesting to take all the projects that's needed done for so long and actually get them in the works and get everybody on board. And we're getting a lot of volunteer groups coming forward and wanting to help, and it's really just kind of domino affecting a lot of the other organizations in town to want to help and come forward with either resources or money or.
So somebody who does want to help, what can they do?
Anyone that wants to help, just get a hold of my office, get a hold of me. We can, depends on how they want to help. If they want to help with labor or donation or whatever it might be, we've got enough projects going on, we can try to find the right fit for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've got, and there's a lot of things that that we have the money to do, and just for whatever reason over the last few years or decades, just hasn't been done or hasn't been kept up with, and so we want to continue what we can do with our facilities. But if there's anything above and beyond what we can do, or some kind of specialty project or something like that, we'd be more than happy to talk to anybody that wants to donate or do something like that.
Okay, I'll go ahead and put your office's phone number in the story then.
Yeah,
if anybody wants to reach out.
Sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything else, or?
That pretty much wraps it up for right now. Well, I will say that because we still get concern and calls on it, but the slip, the river trail slip, we're still working on that. We need everybody to know that we're working on it.
Yeah.
It's a process. We've got a lot of different teams involved in it.
Right.
Nothing's going to happen overnight. Nothing's probably going to happen this year.
Right.
So it's going to be shut down indefinitely at this point. We continue to ask that people stay out of that area and do not cross through that construction zone right now or slip zone. We've got it marked. We've got fences up. We've got it perfectly closed off, but we still have pedestrians trying to navigate through there. And so far, we haven't forcefully enforced it. But
Right.
it's coming to the point where once we start moving things out there and construction's going on, we will start enforcing the pedestrian crossing through there. So just for their protection and ours and safety of everybody, we just wish that everybody would stay out of that area for now and let us get the engineering and the legal work out of the way. Once we get all that, and we can actually start the process to repair it.
Right.
We'll let everybody know that. But, so that's what's happening there. And the boat ramp's cleaned off and ready to go. So if anybody wants to use that, and we hope that with the aquatic center opening up in May, that we have a good season. The weather stays good. We have a lot of participants there, and just look for a good year.
Okay. Excellent.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.